Ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls, from Lima Shenanigans of 1977, it's Tuesday, and you know what that means. It's time for the NXT Event Center Wrestling Report. And now here's the man that will bring you all the wrestling happenings from the WWE Superstars of tomorrow, Eric M. Lima. Thank you very much, Mr. Announcer, sir. Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977, episode number 2242, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you guys are having a wonderful, blessed night. It is May the 13th, 2025, once again, 10:04 p.m. NXT just got over. We've got some breaking news. The Indiana Pacers defeated the Cleveland Cavaliers, the number one seed in the Eastern Conference, to advance to the Eastern Conference semifinals. Who are they going to face? Will the Knicks, I think the Knicks and the Celtics are playing tomorrow, will the Knicks advance by defeating the Celtics, or will the Celtics hang in there for another game? I know it's going to be tough without Jason Tatum, who has been spearheading, but we shall see tonight. So if the Knicks win, it'll be Knicks and Pacers in the Eastern Conference Finals, and winner of that will be advanced in the NBA Finals to face the winners of the Thunder Nuggets and Timberwolves Warriors matchups, and once that happens, those two winners will face each other in the Western Conference Finals, and whoever advances out of that will face the Eastern Conference champions, whoever they may be. So the NBA Finals almost set. The question is, who's going to make it to the NBA's Final Four, so to speak? So we'll find out for sure. But enough about basketball and sports. We're going to talk about a little bit of wrestling. That's right, and and as you know, NXT Battleground is about 12 days away, a week from this coming Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. And we're going to be halfway through May. And I'll tell you, before you know it, June will be here. We'll have carnivals, festivals, Portuguese feasts, summertime. Summer's going to be here pretty soon. Now, the unofficial kickoff of summer will be Memorial Day. Well, that's Memorial Day weekend. Time to knuckle up. You know what I mean? So, we'll be ready to go, I'm sure. We'll brush off there. All right, let's get going here. Myles Boune and the No Quarter Catch Crew kick off NXT. Myles Boune addresses the NXT crowd in the PC Center, and Obafemi, and he's a bit of inspiration. As you know, he admits he has a disability. He's half deaf, and he's trying to be an inspiration. That's pretty cool. That, you know, this young man is an inspiration, and of course, leave it to a guy with an ego problem. All ego, Ethan Page comes out, starts whining and crying as usual about Bourne's victory was a fluke, wah, and then challenges him to a matchup. Said, "Well, to prove it, who does not fluke? Put your number one contenders on the ship on the line." And then Charlie Dempsey's trying to talk him into it. I think Charlie Dempsey is jealous of Myles Boune right now. Come on, Charlie Dempsey, please. You're a second generation wrestler. You should know better. But then Myles Boune says, "Yeah, okay, I'll accept it." Ava comes out. I thought she was going to try to stop from that match happening. He said, "You know what?" He goes, listen, I didn't think that was a wise thing for you to do, but you want to prove yourself? I'll make the match happen. So, but Charlie Dempsey has a match right now. Is against the champ Obafemi in a non-title matchup, and that match happened, and Obafemi won easily. So hopefully Myles Boune learns a thing or two in that matchup. Meanwhile, looks like Carmen Petrovich and Thea Hale have joined a little bit, became buddies, but Tatum Paxley has lost her buddies. That's right, she lost Shotzi with her contract expired, and Gigi Dolan was released as well. So poor Tatum Paxley, and her husband was also released from the company as well. Tatum Paxley is about to flip, and she was angry. And Thea Hale's trying to calm her down. Carmen Petrovich kind of calming down, and then she tells Thea Hale off, and that led into a matchup between the two of them later on. Meanwhile, Ricky Sings was talking to All Ego Ethan Page, and Ethan Page says, we'll deal with this later, and Ethan Page already says, I'm going to win the match, I'm going to win the title, and then then I don't have to worry about dealing with you. And I was like, okay. Meanwhile, Tony D'Angelo went up against Wesley, Tyreek Igwe, and Tyson DuPont will be known as High Rise from this point forward. And during the matchup, Channing Stacks Lorenzo claims he has found Rizzo's safe house. And Tony D'Angelo was distracted. Wesley took advantage and hit the cardiac kick. 1, 2, 3, a victory over the Don. It seems like to me that the phone call was from Stacks. And so as Stacks was running his mouth, Tony D'Angelo starts racing to the back and everything else. And so there's that High Rise got involved during the matchup, but like I said, it cost the Don in the end. OTM addresses the tag team division in NXT. They're making their return next week. And next week, and OTM doesn't seem to be in a very good mood. And if they want the tag team titles, they have to go to Hank and Tank, and that will be a brawl for the ages. And then Stephanie McCare addresses Jordynne Grace. But Fallon Henley and JC Jane of Fatal Influence come out, interrupting her. They probably want in on this. Then Jordynne Grace interrupts Fatal Influence and basically tells Fatal Influence to skedaddle. The No Quarter Catch crew were helping Dempsey in the back, but Bourne was getting ready for his matchup, he said, you're not in good condition to be out there. He said, and he's like, let's go out there. No. You guys stay here. Keep an eye on him. I got to go for my match. So there's that. The Undertaker and Bubba Ray Dudley were talking to Xena Sterling. That's the student of Bubba Ray. While Tyra May Steele was coached by the Undertaker, and they say that to face each other in the season finale of LFG at Madison Square Garden. That's a huge deal. They're going to face each other at the theater in Madison Square Garden. But as they were talking to their players, here comes Izzy Dane, Nikita Lyons. Guys, these ladies are not thinking. They've interrupted Bubba Ray Dudley and The Undertaker. Come on, ladies. What are you thinking? You're lucky they're gentlemen, because they don't hit a lady unless they need to. Well, back in the day. Well, Bubba Ray Dudley doesn't hesitate to put a woman through a table. I should take that back what I said, But I think nowadays they're older and a little wiser. So there you go. Undertaker's tombstone a woman or two. I believe he's tombstone Vicky Guerrero. I might say more on that, but I don't know what Izzy Dame and Nikita Lyons. I love Nikita Lyons, and it would break my heart if somebody happens to, if either Undertaker or Bubba Ray Dudley hurts her. But I'm sure Undertaker will probably be hearing it from his wife, Michelle McCool, WWE Hall of Famer, and that. Love WWE Hall of Famers. And then Lash Legend, Lola Vice. Lola Vice didn't say a word, but Lash Legend does a lot of talking. I'm going, ew, boy. Ew, boy. And then the rest of the NXT Women's Division were kind of looking over and nodding their heads in agreement. And Undertaker goes, woman wins, you're going to have to get work cut out for you. And Taker was exactly right. Taker and Bubba Ray Dudley were pretty calm in this situation. They know, so. I don't know. Undertaker and Bubba Ray, poor guys. They had to deal with all those bunch of young ladies, man. So, anyways. Then D'Angelo quickly heads over to Rizzo's safe house to stop Stacks. Meanwhile, Myles Boune went one-on-one with Ethan Page. Heck of a matchup, and Myles Boune ended up winning the matchup. So the NXT title match at Battleground still stands as Oba Femi versus Myles Boune. Meanwhile, Super Sean Legacy from Evolve issues a challenge to Javon Evans. Javon Evans is looking at this, probably pondering it. A shot that the Adonis talks to Javon Evans. Both of them were talking smack. Ricky Sage once again interrupts and says, "Why don't you guys go one-on-one next week?" And then Ava made a triple threat match that could have NXT North American title implications. So there is that situation. It'll be a very interesting one indeed. Let's see. Then finally, D'Angelo arrives at the safe house, but Stacks attacks him and decided to issue a challenge to him at Battleground. That match is happening. Tony D'Angelo versus Channing Stacks Lorenzo at Battleground. Where's Luca? Where's Rizzo? We don't know. Meanwhile, Thea Hale went one-on-one with Tatum Paxley. Tatum Paxley is not, like I said, ever since Gigi Dolan and Shotzi have left, breaking up their team, it seems like Tatum Paxley's got nobody, and she snapped and tried to thumb Thea Hale in the eye to the point where the referee had no choice to call the match off via DQ. Thea Hale wins it, and she continued to attack Thea Hale until referees had to come out and restrain her and pry her off. Tatum Paxley is upset. Like I said, no more Gigi Dolan, no more Shotzi Blackheart in the WWE. What is the girl to do? I think she may end up she should really realign herself with Wendy Chu, to be totally honest. Or go to TNA and align herself with Rosemary or something. But then again, people say, "Oh, you still have Lyra Valkyria." Lyra Valkyria's got bigger fish to fry in the form of Becky Lynch. Hey, Lord, Becky Lynch get some help. I think Lyra could recruit Tatum Paxley. Take all that anger out. Well, Jada Parker was watching the matchup, and then Parker was addressing the matchup, and then Keilani Jordan confronts her. And he goes, "Oh, no, I don't want you getting involved in this." And then Keilani Jordan was ticked off, and Zarya confronts her, and he says, "We're going to run it back. We should run it back next week, and if I beat you, I'm taking a shot at Soul's title." And Soul's like, "Fine." And Zarya was like, "What do you want?" I mean, Zarya wants a shot at the title. That's what I'm thinking. Anyways, a TNA title contract signed between Joe Hendry and Trick Williams. This is the first time ever in a WWE PLE event that a TNA championship from another organization is on the line. In this case, the TNA title is up for grabs, and the TNA actually the first time in PLE history, in a WWE PLE, the TNA title will be on the line in that matchup, and both men had their say. They got the contract signed. Joe Hendry was the first one to walk out. All right. And that got Trick thinking of what Joe Hendry had to say. Meanwhile, Hank and Tank were talking to Josh Briggs, and Josh Briggs says he's known to drive people away. He's upset with himself. He's upset that Yoshiki Inamura has gone back to Japan. But then Sean Spears interrupts Briggs, Hank, and Tank, and it looks like Briggs says, "I know where to take my anger out on." And that possibly be a matchup against Brooks Jensen, the member of the Culling. You never know. Cale Dixon and Uriah Connors, who comprised of the new Chase U, was talking to Ava about making it. You can make it your debut next week, and Andre Chase was really excited. And he goes, "Who are our opponents?" And they ask, "Who are our opponents?" They're returning OTM. Guys, what the bleep? Andre Chase is back. I love it. So they're like, "Oh, look what we done." So then, for the second consecutive time in the WWE this week, that a women's tag team matchup is a main event of a show. Last night on Monday Night Raw is the lovely Women's World Champion Io Sky and Rhea Ripley going up against the lovely Julia and Roxanne Perez this week. Tonight, the NXT Women's Champ Stephanie Vaquer teaming up with the juggernaut Jordynne Grace against the Fatal Influence team of JC Jane and Fallon Henley. And despite the fact that Vicaire and Grace had some tense moments, ends up winning the matchup, and then Grace hands the championship belt over to Stephanie Vicaire. Meanwhile, Ethan Page attacked Saints in the back. He says, you know what, later is now. So, oh, and one more thing. Robert Stone. What a goofball this guy is. He claims that he's writing reviews and poor Adrianna Grace. Adrianna Grace says, you leave Santino alone. No, and I actually agree with her. She liked my tweet. I said Robert Stone is nothing but a crybaby. Ever since Ava hired Stevie Turner to run Evolve as a general manager, or in her terms, prime minister, it seems to me that Robert Stone is jealous, and he's a crybaby. And I go, the only thing gonna be, the only thing that Robert Stone's going to review is his face, and not only his face. And I to leave Santino and Adrianna Grace alone and go get a haircut. That stupid man bun of his. I'm Robbie E. What a goofball Robert Stone is. I'm Robert Stone. I used to be a Jersey bro. Let's go, bro. Yeah, you're a bro, man. All right. You're a bro. Oh man, we had to deal with this guy again. So I know he made an interesting tag match for this Thursday on Impact as Tessa Blanchard and Victoria Crawford going up against the team of the Knockouts champ Masha Slamovich, and making her debut in TNA, Nikita Lyons. And as you know, TNA has signed 2 more Knockouts to the division, Myla Grace and Harley Hudson. So we'll see what those ladies can do in a TNA ring. Right now, though, that is it for this episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans 1977, episode 2242 of the show. NXT Event Center for May the 13th, 2025. Tomorrow we got the Joker's Wild. Hoping it does not get age restricted again. If you want to know what I'm talking about, check out my video of why. Also, we got AEW Dynamite, the Women's Elimination Championship Fatal 4-Way, Women's Championship, Women's World Championship Eliminator 4-Way Eliminator matchup as Timeless Toni Storm goes up against the returning Sky Blue, the new NJPW Strong Women's Champion Azumi, or AZM, and the returning, the lovely, the gorgeous, the curvaceous, the babylicious Mina Shirakawa. Love. And also, Timeless Toni Storm, the Women's World Champion. She's also curvaceous and babylicious and funny and talented and all that good stuff. So, I will see you guys later for tomorrow's episode. So, until those episodes come rolling around, Mr. Announcer, take us home. That is all for today's episode of the show. This is Mr. Announcer speaking for Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. A Big Beefy E and door for Bob Saget production, and in association with a Raving Bull for 3000 Telepictures and Distribution. Thank you for watching another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. See you later on the next episode of the show. Goodbye for now.